America is on the brink. The housing market crisis and the corporate land grab. I am trade spotting. Some of my fans would say I'm a chart messiah. Personally, I'm just the humble mumble from the east. And here we are with news of the housing market as the wind blows through those markets. The American dream of home ownership is slipping through the fingers of millions as a growing number of households struggle to keep up with their mortgage payments. More than 6.6 million Americans behind on their mortgages, based on that report you're seeing on the screen. Nearly 9.4 million renters teetering on the edge of financial ruin. The housing crisis is fueled by skyrocketing interest, stagnant wages, corporate takeovers. It's deepening and pushing families to the brink while Wall Street positions itself to profit from the fallout. The numbers behind the crisis now: 15% of Mississippi households are behind on their mortgage payments. 21% of renters struggling to keep up. Illinois, Delaware, Wyoming, similar alarming statistics there. Renters bearing the brunt of the crisis. Texas, New Jersey, deep divides. Nearly 1 in 5 renters in America are late on payments. This is going to have an impact for those landlords. This really shows how tough things are for a lot of people right now, despite the fact that the economy is measured often on the stock market, which there's been big moves with regards to the mortgage market. But people's actual lives aren't quite so flowery, fantastic, so positive recently, and we look for a recovery in the markets, but as traders we're cognizant of the squeeze on the middle class. None of us started with a silver spoon in our mouth. Things are tough out there. Even though there are jobs, wages haven't kept up with the cost of living, which used to mean, the price of a basket of goods. Now it literally means the cost of staying alive. Inflation is outpacing paychecks, and for many families, it just takes one expense that's unexpected for them to fall behind, and then disaster strikes to millions who are struggling. Corporate giants are seizing the moment in a seismic shift. A couple of different deals recently. Rocket companies acquiring Mr. Cooper Group for $9.4 billion. Bit of a change there. As the shift in the housing market, one of America's largest mortgage lenders there, launching a multi-billion-dollar buying spree. The Detroit-based giant recently acquired Redfin in a $1.75 billion all-stock deal, adding 2,000 real estate agents, 50 million users to its portfolio. That was just getting started. They then, in another blockbuster acquisition, announced a $9.4 billion of home loan service provider Mr. Cooper Group, expanding its mortgage empire even further. The deal will add nearly 7 million clients to Rocket's books there, which is increases in the loan volume, driving recurring revenue, consolidating power over America's housing market. So that's who's getting this land. Those are the corporations benefiting from these tough times. And these deals aren't just about efficiency in the markets. They're about corporate giants gaining control, with interest rates making homeownership unattainable for millions of Americans. The next step is for corporations to dominate that market ecosystem, lending, buying, selling, and renting. So that asset class likely going to change significantly because of the huge inflation we've seen over the last decade. Crises have been years in the making. Decade, that's 10 years. Titles and escrows, all that jazz. Anybody in that market will have noticed the volatility and the artificially exacerbated prices sprung up since the pandemic. Mortgage rates artificially low, demand surging. That leads to inflated home prices. Now that interest rates have gone back towards mean levels, they're very mean, it's not actually doing much for the market. Affordability has been crushed. Homeowners are stuck. They can't refinance because the rates are so very different from what they were. The availability and products out there are completely different. They can't sell without taking a bit of a loss then, even if the capital in the property is appreciated. Meanwhile, mortgage rates themselves continue relentlessly climbing to the top side. Freddie Mac reports the average rate on a 30-year home loan has soared, so 6.85%, up from 6.61% just a year ago. Big change to your overall budget, and that accounts for a huge difference in your overall affordability. So even getting the mortgages, loads of people cut off that dream, slipping further out of reach. Those who bought during the low boom are trapped in homes they can't even afford, and as you get older that can be quite worrying for the family. So you gotta take care of your financial future and tune into Trade Spotting. Talking about the future, what do you think the future of home ownership is going to be like in America? I can tell you about the market, the tickers to trade. If you want to go short on the housing market without selling your house, I know how you can do it cost efficiently and with very low capital. Get started there. You wouldn't need anything like the amount you'd need for a deposit on a house. Consequences of these shifts in the markets is going to be felt for generations. How are you going to take advantage of these moves? Corporate giants are consolidating their hold. Millions of Americans are going to be left with fewer options, forced to perpetual renting, struggling under crushing mortgage payments if they can get them. Economic conditions worsening, affordability all-time low. The question is, what's the average American going to do? Are they ever looking to own homes again? Is that going to be the next loss for the middle class? This asset moving into a new league. The battle for housing in America is no longer just about supply and demand. It's about corporate power, and as Wall Street tightens its grip, Main Street is left wondering if homeownership is just another relic of the past. Rocket Lab's acquisition there of Mr. Cooper and Redfin positions them very well. And this is the chart here for Rocket. You can see your retracements from the low to the high, back down again. You've got Rocket Outcrop Toolkit drawing all that on for you, the moving averages and the important artifacts on the chart. You can also see below 236, it's your retracement, a little bit of a zone there. It'd be great to get this in at around 1072. It's already at the top side of that target, so people will be looking to take advantage of this as we see RSI pulling down steeply, but price action really not having completely broken anything desperately important. This is a daily time frame. 50 simples below the 200. Price action came up to test that death cross. May be confirmed if price action slips any lower than 1069. Perhaps you'd take your foot off this one until such times as it finds support, because it could easily come back down to these prior lows if it does roll over. This looks like a potential head and shoulders, and you wouldn't bet it beyond it. You wouldn't put it beyond it. Actually, though, if price does push to the top side and you're looking at this long as it's moving up, then getting back above a golden pocket, 786, a 50% retracement, a 236 in at around 10, 15 spot 50, 15 spot 55. Break those levels. Prior high in this local area might be challenged, and price action could test to the top side. There is a trend line there which has been providing a little bit of resistance and continuation on this guy, with Fibonacci extension would be in line with meeting that. Perhaps a 1.13, 1414, even 1618. Get all right in you there. That'd be fantastic. Get it around you. So price action here a little bit worrying though, because if you go down to the 4-hour time frame, you can see 50 simple pushing above the 200. Price action failing there, lower lows. It's in at around these areas where the RSI would turn around. So if it does, golden pocket, prior monthly low, chance for some liquidity coming in, test that resistance to the top side, sets up a trade. There's this trade, even if you draw that on, there's the entry and the stop, the suggestion. This isn't financial advice, this is just how trading works. If you tuned into this video to look on how it is that you might save some money on your house, here's 120% trade set up with a very low cost to take that trade, and that's on a ticker that's very relevant. There's a lot of news about it at the minute. Live person, 5 takeaways from the Spark Drive contact center transformation. This is an interesting article that talks about live person and the things it can do for customer service. Really great to know a lot of different things about the company here. This is one interesting point to take away from it. Conversations happen throughout the entire customer journey, from pre-sales, right? So right at the very beginning, all the way through post-sale, right? And that is all those areas of volatility we spoke about in the value chain of real estate market in America. Conversation provide a wealth of information about customer expectations and what they want or wonder about. Opportunities for revenue generation certainly is. This was spoken about Mr. Cooper, just acquired by that company, Rocket. So this is interesting, right? If you'd consider the potential of this chart moving to the top side, there's 120% trade setup. As I say, it's not financial advice, but this is how we roll here on the Rocky Outcrop community. Grander family that is. You can join that for free. www.discord.gg/Rocky Outcrop, and you'll learn a whole lot more than just buying and selling houses, which really, let's just make money this way and let everybody own their own house. That's what I think. Bring affordability down for everybody. I want us all traveling in first class. Talking about first class, that company, LivePerson, which is used by Rocket Labs, there's Rocket Outcrop Flash, it comes free with the paid side of that Discord, which you can join. Introduce yourself over on the Discord for free to get started. Here's these opportunities, spoken about prior monthly lows and whatnot. Looking at this important horizontal level. This one's been in a downtrend for a long period of time. If we go up to the daily, you can see it's poked its head above this downward sloping trend line. It has been in this broadening wedge formation. If it breaks to the top side, huge targets. Gaps to fill, those commonly are filled. 8.79, that's the top side of the top side gap. Price action could easily go back in around those levels. There's a couple of red, green horizontals on the chart. 236, you break that in at around 1.50. That's also the prior monthly high. You'd be in line for continuation on a trend, which we can extrapolate from this line. Price action coming up and testing those levels around 313 possibly. Not all that different from that expression we saw of price that we articulated, concept of a trade that we set up there on the Rocket chart. You can also see here on LivePerson a lot of interest. It's also at these very deep low areas. So bullish divergence in this place. You've got continuation divergence at the minute. If it manages to turn around here, recover back above in at around 8 spot where it is post market. If it manages to persist there, 200 period moving average 0.87, then price action will be on to test this high. And this is a very volatile area, so you have to be very careful. Not recommending if you're completely new to trading or not experienced at all that you do these kind of things. Definitely think you should learn how to trade. I've got a course that teach you how to do that at www.technicalanalysis.school. Definitely check that out. Check out all sorts of information here on the channel. If you're one of these 6 million Americans late on your mortgage payment, then that's definitely where you want to be focusing first. And I'd say anything I can do to help you, including pointing you towards a really good mortgage advisor, www.currancy.co.uk. There you go. I know. The .co.uk, still, it's the place to be. They'll sort you out. LivePerson, I'll sort you out, right? This is an opportunity. There's the chart. And I think there's a really big move coming because, as we spoke about, Rocket Labs, sorry, not Rocket Labs, though there is a link there. Rocket Company's acquisition of Mr. Cooper Group, $9.4 billion. That's a bold move. Aggressive expansion strategy. And that's just weeks after their $1.75 billion deal, real estate platform Redfin. It's rapidly positioned itself to take advantage in this period of consolidation. And the surge in customer demands is likely to come off the back of these consolidations in the firms, which will spell an opportunity for companies like LivePerson, who are already in that company, Mr. Cooper. And they're going to be putting that CEO taking over the whole group, who's got very good experience of this technology and what it can do in terms of customer services. So Rocket Labs absorbing Mr. Cooper, 7 million clients. They're also going to need scalable AI-driven customer engagement solutions to handle those increased inquiries, the loan servicing issues, the refinancing requests. There's going to be a big volume. It'll be a big volume, mark my words, of new borrowers entering Rocket's ecosystem, contact centers. They're going to be absolutely packed, likely to face unprecedented pressure. LivePerson's AI-powered conversational boom cloud platform is designed to enhance customer service efficiency, and it does that very well for financial institutions, as you'll have noticed on this article. ROI comes from pulling your agents. AI agents, such a big deal at the minute. So if you've heard about AI agents, you're worried about the prices of houses, which you probably should be, even if you can afford multiple. What people are saying, a lot of different things. Probably not very good, any of it. So what do you need to know? I tell you what you need to know, right? 6 million. 6 million. Potential default dangers absolutely up the wazoo. And that's going to have implications for corporate property. It's going to have implications for those products, the loan servicing, cost of that money. It's especially with the liquidity drain from the US equities heading to generate passive returns in this European expansion. Rockets growth, mortgage markets in flux, demand for scalable automated customer interaction tools obviously going to rise. LivePerson has got deeper integration with most major financial players than you might happen to realize, and that's going to grow. This is all very positive news, and so if that's trend to turn around, weekly time frame, put it in context, go back up, test any of these targets. 200 period moving average is up at $12. This thing's trading at less than $1. It won't be here for long. I'd be in at around 1,500%. That's not bad. And like $12, there's a meme about this. If somebody is to turn around and offer you that kind of odds, you don't have to put like incredible amounts of capital down to be making incredible returns. But you should be still managing risk. The way to do that is obviously inform yourself. Direction of price action at any moment can help you there. Best place to get that help live in person on Discord, Rocky Outcrop. Discord GG/Rocky Outcrop. That's at 236. That's at 382. Breaking above this downward sloping diagonal here, we might give you the measured move from a wedge. This is the breakout there. 344 takes you back to an important horizontal in terms of price action. Resistance level previously, support a couple of times before that. You go left, you can see it was also very relevant around here. Important fib levels, confluence. Anyway, there's a huge opportunity here, and this is at an absolute bargain, cheaper than at the price. RSI there also suggesting higher highs, higher lows, price action at this area. This is potentially the divergence that confirms the trend change. We've had an awful lot of positive news here on the channel about LivePerson, an awful lot of news that might be concerning about America, and then the market, how corporate leaders are managing to take advantage of very difficult situations for normal, everyday Americans. And it's the same all over the Western world. Things are changing. You're best protecting yourself. The best way you can do that is by staying informed. I'll do my best to keep everybody educated, and together we will rise. As I say, I've told you the links below. They're in the Discord. All those peers who are going to be flying, making progress, and hopefully never worried about mortgage issues. And as I say, www.currency.co.uk, an option for everybody if you're looking for help on your mortgage. Thank you very much for watching today. This is sponsored, obviously. This is a crowdsourced show, so if you want to support it with donations or anything like that, it's very much appreciated. Thank you for those people who choose to do so, and all the channel members. I appreciate you. I've been Trade Spotting. See you in the next one.